We're going to take a peek at one exchange that we don't touch, perhaps not often enough. The Mongolian Stock Exchange in Ulaanbaatar has seen some pretty rapid growth in the past years. As of 2012, it has over 300 listed companies, 332, I believe, at last count, with a combined market cap of roughly $2.33 billion. Question is, what steps is the exchange taking to attract more activity? Joining us on the program is Saruul Ganbaatar, Deputy CEO of the Mongolian Stock Exchange. Also with us, our good friend Alisher, CEO of Silk Road Management, which invests in resource-rich frontier countries like Mongolia. He's back from a trip not to Mongolia this time, but Mozambique, right?
Correct.
Eminem. I'm not talking about the rock singer. Mr. Ganbaatar, welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
How is the state of how's the state of business in Mongolia? You know, a lot of the news has been overshadowed by concerns about how they're fine-tuning the regulations and oversight of the mining industry. Is that sort of keeping things on hold for you?
Well, there's been a lot of noise around recent government initiatives on fixing regulation, and I think it may have sent some negativity around Mongolia. But what's been happening recently is Mongolia took a step back, and I think there was a recent news announced by the PM himself stating that the new regulation and the new law on foreign deposit direct investment in strategic sectors will only apply to state-owned entities, which will probably send a positive message stating that private entities will not be touched by this law.
Right. Okay.
So all this recent news about Mongolia is likely to send some likely to bring positivity back to Mongolia, and we're definitely looking to take a huge ride on this.
Yeah. Saruul, Alisher and I have known each other a long time, and we've talked a lot about the development of the capital markets and deepening the capital markets in Mongolia. What's your sense of where you are? Why aren't you going to Mongolia? What are you doing in Mozambique? Are you giving up on the country or something?
Absolutely not.
No?
No. I mean, as you said, we've been early believers in Mongolia, and it's a remarkable story. And I think that story intact largely. And yes, there is a negative sentiment. Obviously, the fact that China and slow down there, the fact that the commodities weakened also impacted and compounded these negative sentiments. But we definitely are the long-term investors in Mongolia, and we believe, in fact, this current period of weakness is a great time to buy into Mongolian equities and different other asset classes in Mongolia.
Mr. Ganbaatar, one of the concerns about the development of the market as you grow is that it becomes a sort of a one-trick horse or one-trick pony. You know, I mean, Mongolia is inevitably identified in some cases solely or primarily with resources and mining. You don't want a market which is made up all of resource companies, because that would be very, very lopsided. What kind of initiatives are you engaging in right now to sort of diversify and broaden that base?
Well, we definitely see our future as bright as possible, and because we're taking a lot of initiatives. Back in 2011, we've partnered up with the London Stock Exchange, bringing in a strategic partner. We're bringing their know-how and their technology, same technology used in London Stock Exchange. At the same time, we're fixing all the rules and laws. The new securities markets law is likely to get passed in April, which will enable many new opportunities for more participants. It would bring in new custodian banks, dual listing opportunities, and various other opportunities which are very normal standards across the world. So we're trying to become the world-class exchange on the back of mining. But besides mining, there's an initiative to develop industrial park in Mongolia. So there'll be logistics, mining, capital market, on the back of which the country could see some really good growth prospects.
Yeah. Question that's been in the news lately, because there are a number of mining initiatives underway right now. One in particular is I believe the Erden Talvan Talgoy project, and that's been talked about as a big kahuna, sort of. It's going to be a big injection of capital interest when it lands. Any clarity or any kind of a timeline that you can give us on that one? Because I know that Shri and the group and I have been talking about this for some time, right, Alisher?
Yes.
That's right. This IPO has been in the news for some time over the last 2 years, and there's definitely a lot of excitement around it. But due to uncertain reasons, it was put up for some time. We're not sure as to when this IPO is likely to get launched, but before then, it actually gives us enough time to get prepared for that IPO from the exchange side of the point of view, because we'll have all of our rules and regulations in place to get prepared once this IPO is actually launched.
Okay. Alisher, we got the number 2 at the exchange. What do you want to know from Saruul?
Well, we've been in a very close contact with the policymakers in Mongolia, and we largely support their initiatives, and we, as I said, we are the long-term investors and still remain bullish on the Mongolian prospects, and particularly in developing capital markets, domestic capital markets.
So how come there's more? There seems to be more fixed income. There's more bond activity than equity activity. Just looking at the latest set of numbers I have, something like 180 million in bonds traded on the exchange, twice the threshold of equities that were traded. Why is that? Is that intended?
Well, government issued their treasury bonds for Mongolian Stock Exchange for the last couple of years, and stock exchange served as a middle ground for investors and the government. But our idea is to not only include the local investors, but also connect and channel foreign investors as well. And that's one of the reasons why yesterday we had a custody event organized by PwC, where we met with various global custodian banks. Because the next step for us is to bring those global custodians to Mongolia so that foreign investors can comfortably invest in Mongolian capital market through the world accepted standards. So we can name guys like BNP Paribas, Boni, Citi, all those guys are very interested in Mongolia.
Well, thank you for stopping by, okay? It's a rare chance and privilege to talk to you. Best of luck, okay?
Thank you.
The exchange. Saruul Ganbaatar, Deputy CEO of the NSE, and more with Alisher from Silk Road Management in a little bit.